Welcome into the ESPN FC studio. Next week is International Week around the world. However, not for Diego Costa. He hasn't been called up for Spain's friendly against Germany and that qualifier against Belarus. Jose Mourinho is rather pleased.
It's fantastic news for us, which I obviously thanks for the decision the Spanish Federation made, but I want to make it very, very clear that I did nothing for that to happen.
What do you think?
I think Del Bosque's back down, and I'm a bit disappointed. Not that I'm making a difference to Del Bosque, but you know, this whole thing with Mourinho was having a pop at Del Bosque before for calling him in the last time, saying he wasn't fit to play 3 games, yet he was playing 3 games for Chelsea. Okay, he'll get a rest now, but will he get a rest? Will he train him? Because he could go away with Spain and Del Bosque doesn't have to play him, he could just train and have a couple of days rest, the same as he'd probably have at Chelsea.
I have no issue with it. I mean, they've got a friendly and a qualifier against Belarus. Let's be honest, Belarus isn't that testing a game for
Minsk?
Spain, as you would hope. And look back to the last international where Diego Costa was called in. He was supposed to have been left out against Luxembourg, but he hadn't scored, so then they throw him in, he gets his goal. I don't think now it's an opportunity to give him that rest that maybe he would have gotten last international break. I still think Spain will win their qualifier without Diego Costa.
I'm surprised. Listen, if it's 2 friendlies, then absolutely the right thing to do is give the guy a rest. But if there's a qualifier involved, and I don't care who it's against, you might think they're going to walk over Belarus, you just never know. Then you have to take your best side and your best players. I'm surprised at Del Bosque.
Oh.
No, I'm not a bit surprised. I mean, Jack Charlton made a habit of doing things like that for Ireland, and that was how he got Ireland out of the mire that they were in, because he forged good relationships with managers in England. And I think this is just a case of a little PR on Del Bosque's part. He's going to come back and tell Mourinho later on, I need a favour from you too.
Well, the favour will be that the player's fit and he has to go. I mean, he doesn't need a favour off the manager. No international manager needs a favour. If the player's fit, even if he's not fit, he comes along and he's assessed by the nation and by the doctors. How can a player play on a Saturday? And we expect Costa to play,
isn't he? Yep.
He's going to play, and not go on international duty. If there's a qualifier, I don't understand it.
Gab, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Craig's right. The rules say that if he plays on Saturday, if called up, then he has to go. But I think what's obvious is right now, Del Bosque wants to maintain a good relationship with Mourinho. I think it's pretty obvious, even though they deny it, that they've obviously spoken about it. There are other players who Del Bosque might count on, like says Fabregas, in Mourinho's squad. So I think ultimately this is about applying a little bit of common sense and basically paying it forward, so that, you know, as Tommy said, further on, maybe Mourinho can help out a little bit.
How can he help? He can't play.
Well,
he can't pick the Spanish team. How's he going to help? I mean, Costa's either fit or he's not fit, surely.
Well, no, because I'm sure in your career, Craig, there have been times when you've played hurt. If there's a situation where Spain somehow goes wrong and you desperately need the points, and Mourinho's like, do I want to risk him and stuff, and Del Bosque says, look, I desperately need this guy up front, then maybe he lets him go, no?
I think, Gab, when you do these fake conversations, you have to do the accents.
You know, if a manager said to me, and I don't know about the boys, but I don't want you to go on international duty, I think I would have been big enough and ugly enough to make my own mind up. Which I think Costa is.
Well, yeah, he's definitely ugly enough.
Yeah.
You said that, not me. He can make his own mind up.
Right,
when you're going to tell a player, you're not going on international duty, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. If we come to
Can we go?
Can we come to an end on this?
Come down to whether Diego Costa is big and ugly.
Okay. Who's uglier, Craig or Costa? We'll be discussing that throughout the week of International Week. You can join us on ESPN News at 6 p.m. Eastern.